Well then, guys, what I want to show you is our wizard that we create to provision VPNs through a core network. Well, then just go into a short show of what we have. We have a small set of network devices being a core of a network containing 4 PEs, 2 VPN interconnect routers, and 2 VPN interconnect firewalls, which are separated from the data centers in 2 different cities. What we're going to do with the wizard is we're going to create VPNs that will traverse this full range of devices and even to connected CEs, and we can delete them if we would like as well. So what you will see with this wizard, let's go in here. If we want to create a new VPN, this gives a set of numbers, VPNs, free numbers, from a starting point that we set. Let's create a new one and tell it type to be what types of VPNs we can have. In this case, we have these 4 types. So I'll create one of the first 2 because that will apply to all the devices and shows the most of it. So let's add this VPN. And what you see right now is that it will create within the database all kinds of configurations right now. And do I have to build right here? So what you will see right now is that for this VPN on the VIR, you will see it created a trusted IPv4 network, it created a untrusted IPv4 network, and it also created a trusted IPv6 network, which is connected to several ports, several devices, traversing all the devices we just saw.
So, Sander, you're just saying that by that action you did in the wizard, this is what it created?
This is what it created, yeah. So it creates IPv4 subnets, it creates IPv6 subnets, it creates the VRF connected to the nodes. So let's go into this step right here. For instance, one node, it has a VRF 80 right now here. So it added this to the device. And what it created as well, and that's the final step of this journey, is it created a job list. And within this job list, we have a set of executions towards the network where we provision all of this. So in order to do so, we select them all and push them out to the network, which is at this point not connected to my device. Let's make sure I'm on my own. Yep. Schedule it. And what you will see right now is that it will schedule some jobs for every device. And although they won't run right now, you can see the configuration that we will push normally to those devices. So these jobs are here right now. And opening, for instance, one job, here you will see that for this device, it will put this configuration in the device whenever it connects to it. So what you see right here is the configuration that it would put out to these devices. So this being for a VIR. Let me go into the firewall. This being for a firewall, creating several virtual instances on the firewall. And for the PE, for instance, it would create the VPN and the BGP connection towards the VIR and some other stuff. Now if you go back into our wizard, we just created this VPN. So if we look it up, we see that no CE has been connected yet. So if we connect the CE to it and tell it next, then at this point, we see another set of jobs will be done within the database, and it will also create another set of jobs to be created in the network. So what we have done Let me show you first what we have created. We've created from each PE a connection towards a CE, being a IPv4 address with a new VPN within the same within the same VPN, a new VLAN towards the CE, and also created a connection on IPv6. So what we just have done is we created this connection right here. There is a non-core device which needs to have connections within that VPN, and in order to get that VPN into that environment, this device is connected to the PEs by 2 links, and over those links, which are physical connections, we created virtual connections within that VPN. So now the VPN resides on the CE as well. And that's what you just saw in IPv4 and IPv6 mode. And if we look at the jobs that we have for that one, so let's go back into that job list. There are some jobs that I do. So what I will do right now is I will configure both the CE and the PE for its connection between the 2 of them. Well, no need to select the other ones for this point. Let me schedule them and show you the configurations that come out of that. So submitted 2 jobs. These jobs right here. So from one job, we create a config for the PE and the CE as well within one job. So for this connection, we will configure the interface connecting to the CE. We can configure a BGP connection connecting to that CE. And on that CE, we will configure the VPN, which isn't there yet at that point. And we configure that same connection over layer 3 and BGP. And then, of course, there is a different part where we say, okay, now we have this device right here, and we want to get it off this CE. So we take the CE out and we run next as well. So in the database right now, we clear all configurations connected to that CE. So if we go into the build and go into the main graph here, you see that one piece here is missing right now. So we lost that connection. I'll show you in the services as well. So right here, within the PE service, there's no more IPv6 components, and there's no more IPv4 components connecting to a CE. Of course, there's the ones within the core, but the other ones have been gone. And if you look into the CE device, you will see that the VRF is gone there as well. So there will be no AT here anymore. And next to that, I mean, this comes with some configuration as well. The jobs for this configuration I'm working on currently. But the last part we have for this wizard is that we delete the full VPN. So this full VPN is not connected, is not necessary anymore within the device. So if we see, for instance, select one differently, let's see if there is a CE connected now, right now. So if you look it up here and we say delete right here, then from the database it will delete this full VPN and it will be gone, and you will be able to create jobs right here. Let's see the ones. So there will be jobs for deletion of the CEs. And if you look into the build of this device, for instance, the PE, which has no more VPN AT right now. And if you look into the services, for which the VIR is the most important one at this point, there is no more 1080, there's no more 2080, and there's no more IPv6 1080. So it has been cleaned. all the way from the database and
So-
from the network as well through the jobs.
So in short, any type of change here, it's a creation, a delete, a modification, it's fully wizard based. Right?
Yeah,
So
correct.
Yeah.
One short take on that modification indeed. So whatever we have here, for instance, if we look at this job, we can change a VPN from being a multicast VPN into a no multicast VPN. And that's something that will modify it within the database and also will create a job going out to the device, changing it.
But I think the same would apply to ACLs probably, Sander, or not? It's basically job.
Yeah, something. It doesn't matter what configuration we put in, of course, because the configuration that I put in is created through templates. So whatever I put in there, for instance, adding a C3 CE connection, is this configuration. Whatever changes we do with those jobs is pushed out through templates. So right here we say what configuration needs to be changed for adding a CEP connection. For deleting for adding a virtual firewall, we say this is what needs to be done. If anything else needs to be done, we just create a different template. So yeah, whatever you need to do with stuff like that, you can do, of course. What I did in the design when created a client type DC, it has been connected to IP plans, IPv4, IPv6, which I created. I created some site types being the C3 core, which contains these three devices, or sorry, these three service classes. We created nodes for them because they are some HP nodes. Created an IP plan in IPv4 containing a division of each CE point-to-point connection over the different PEs in order to make sure I can differentiate between them, so I know what device is connected to what VLAN number, because right here I will say it has to be somewhere within VLAN 3000 between 200, and for the second device it should be in the second set of VLANs, and also the trusted set and the untrusted set. And the same thing goes for IPv6. So we have a plan, same ID, connected to the same VLANs for IPv6, for the same set of devices, same IP name. So we know whenever we create a template of being one VLAN number, it is able to create both IPv4 and IPv6 addresses in it. And for service types, there's a few that I've created right here. There are let's do this. Just a handful of service types, being the AdC3 VPN only is 3 for a PE. The AdC3 VPN is for the VIR is bigger. It's 25 steps right here, because this is where we create all the subnets and link them to either the firewall and the PE nodes that it's connected to. And for the firewall itself, it's also just 3 steps, just adding the VRF to that node to make sure it is able to retrieve IP or hostname information within that same VPN. And for the CE connection, there's also a bit smaller steps, but right here, adding the IPv4 and IPv6 subnets coming from the wizard with that name, as you just saw in the IP plan. And for the deletion, it's about the same thing. There is just a deletion of this PE VPN. There's the deletion of the VIR VPN, which is a bit bigger, but nothing really much.
Sander, so this is automatically updating all the stuff in the database, the add, move, and delete. So where is being put into jobs and scenarios?
Yeah. Let's go into the jobs then. So, wait, let's go into systems first. Let's show you this for short. we have a configuration file containing all the information that the wizard uses. So right here, it says what devices we have. It says what service types to run when adding and what jobs to run when adding. And all that stuff is contained right here for all the steps we take.
This is all the logic behind the wizard.
That's all the yeah. It's all the configuration behind the wizard code, indeed.
Yeah.
Yeah. And if we go into the jobs, it's just a short list of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 jobs at this point. I need to create a few of them extra for the deletes, but this is where we put the templates together with the scenarios, and most of them use just the normal scenario. Only for the add CE VPN, there is no configuration template right here, but all the logic right now is in the scenario, because what we do with this job is creating configuration for both CE and PE device, which is not normal use case for the command jobs, for where you normally just create a configuration for only one device that you select right here.
Cool.
And that scenario, well, let's go into that as well, is nothing more of creating configurations for PE, creating configuration for CE, and execute both of them.
Really nice. So, and it will also show before and after on the config diff side, so people can keep tracking on that as well.
Yeah. Everything is in place for that as well, of course.
But in the NCCM, it is also there, all the nodes that we...
Not in my database right now, because this is my local database.
Yeah, got it.
So there's nothing in here.
Yeah, but in production, you will see every change, you will actually see a before and after line change in a config. Yeah.
Correct.
Awesome.
Okay.
Great. Yeah.
Very good.
Thanks, Hunter. Great
You're
work.
welcome.
Yeah.
Bye, Sander. Thanks.
Bye. Cheers.
Cheers.